what I would say is a very positive marker for Icelandic not evaporating into the ether and turning into Northern Lights is that Icelandic rappers primarily rap in Icelandic and not English.
Yes. Huh. How's the Icelandic hip hop scene?
It's very strong
Okay.
and it's vibrant. And I think one of my favorite wordsmiths of the day is a rapper, and his name is MC Gauti. His lyrics are sometimes Oscar Wildean in their puns and their humor, and I just think he's a national treasure.
Are Icelandic rappers rapping about the same things that a lot of other rappers around the world are rapping about? Um, Money, excess, women, crime.
Well, maybe all of those things,
Okay.
minus the crime in Iceland.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, I'm hardly the first person to point out that being boastful and rap kind of goes very much hand in hand. So yeah, it's definitely that. But then sometimes there are like there's a group here, and their name is Ulfur Ulfur, which is like wolf wolf,
Hmm.
and it's a duo. It's
Okay.
two guys, and they rap about stuff that's kind of existential.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna get super deep into that because I don't know enough of their catalog to do that. But when I listen to some of their songs, it's like, oof, this is like heavy stuff that they're rapping about, not just, the bling and the money and the
Hmm.
women. Um, not definitely not any other word.
Right. Right.
And with MC Gauti, I don't know, he's kind of rapping about some of these things, but then he kind of turns it on his head and makes it kind of it makes it funny, you know,
Hmm.
which is refreshing. And also a little bit like I mean it's not the same thing, but it's you have somebody like him, you have somebody like Eminem, where they're not always like, oh hey, look at me, I'm so awesome. Sometimes it's like, hey, look at me, I'm kind of effed up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm very curious now because we know that hip hop music is, well, certain people in hip hop are known for their wordplay and they're known for inventing new words. They're known for changing the meaning of words. I've not been privy to Icelandic hip hop. I will turn some on later today because I want to know. But I listen to a lot of French hip hop, and there are some rappers who just what they do with words and the way that they're able to rhyme words or create new meanings for things or switch the syllables of words to have it mean something else, I think is really interesting. So I don't expect you to be an expert on hip hop, but I am curious now, um in 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 the respect of knowing how Iceland is about their word usage and their, using the language. How are the rappers playing with words, number one? And I guess the second part of that question would be, what's the temperature of the Icelandic people who are very pure and want their language to be passed down in a certain way or expressed in a certain way? Is there any type of backlash or finger wagging about about hip hop in Icelandic?
Well, I think you almost sort of, you want that in hip hop, I think, to sort of distance yourself from the previous generation and to do something, yeah, completely off the wall with
Hmm.
it. But no, I think people appreciate it. Uh, I think people appreciate the preservation of Icelandic, no matter how it looks like. And I think in hip hop in Iceland, it's very colorful, it's very playful, it's happy. I think people feel good about it. But also, I should mention I'm a little bit offended that you would say that, you wouldn't expect me to be a expert on hip hop. I would think
Are you?
somebody, from New York would definitely understand that, a person from Iceland is obviously, very well versed in hip hop.
Well, that's not what I meant. What I meant is you very well may be the expert on hip hop in Iceland.
I'm not, but
Okay.
thank you.
I
Thank you though.
just I just didn't want you to think that I was expecting this expert level, etymological answer about how the rappers are using their art to craft these new tantalizing words in Iceland. Like, no, I don't. You can speak as a fan. You don't have to speak as a PhD in Icelandic hip hop. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, I'm just teasing. It's kind of bizarre that we even have rap as a thing in Iceland because it's so far removed from, the origins of it in the US, from, people living in circumstances that are, shall we say, economically challenged.
mhm,
And just the explosion of creativity that came with the invention of hip hop. But yeah, there are new expressions and things that have been sort of, yeah, they're able to take the language and kind of turn it on its ear. And that's so great about Icelandic rap, I think.
yeah.
The thing that kind of comes to mind is there's a line in one of MC Gauti's songs where he's talking about, it has to do with like how much money that he's making, the song in general. And then he says, like, I go down to the pond with some bread looking at ducks. But the way that he says looking at ducks is endur skoðandi. And when you pull those things apart, you have endur, ducks, and then skoðandi, looking at. But when you put those things together, you have endurskoðandi, which is accountant in Icelandic. So it's those sort of little, okay, that's very clever.
That's fun. I love that. Our modern poets.